These are 6 things I think Uber Eats needs to improve on immediately. If they did, could Uber Eats become everyone's favorite app again? I have a love-hate relationship with Uber Eats. There are some orders are like, this is so awesome. And then there are orders that you're like, this is so ridiculous. And you can't hit that X or decline quick enough. Some markets are great with Uber Eats, and some markets like mine has gone so far downhill, it's hard to make money consistently, even any money at all. That's the key. If Uber Eats would improve on these 6 things, I believe they can become everyone's favorite app again, because they used to be mine, and take back some of that market share. You are going to want to stick around until the very last one, because I think this one is causing drivers to lose more money than what they're even aware of. Welcome back, everyone. I am Kim from Kim's Live Money Plans, and I'm here for the RideShare Guy. Let's get right into this top 6. Number 1, tip baiting. It is the absolute worst when it happens to you as a driver. When you are expecting one price, because that's why you hit the accept button, right? And the money gets taken away from you. It is just so maddening, disheartening, and it just sucks. Why does Uber Eats allow its customers to have the power to take away tips is just honestly beyond me. And in my opinion, it just needs to stop. There was rumors years ago they were going to take away this feature, but they never did, and it still exists today. Anything that makes the driver lose money is never a good thing. This past year, I had a shop and pay for $41. It was a pretty good size shop, communicated great, gave great customer service, dropped it off as per the instructions, only to find out an hour later, she took away a $28 tip. Are you kidding me? I did all that work for what? So the customer can just sit on their couch while someone else does the work for them? Yeah, I was not a happy camper. Don't even get me started. I did have to fight support, and eventually I did get the entire payout. No thanks to that fantastic customer. Note the sarcasm. Now, it doesn't happen very often. I can probably count on my hands how many times it's happened in the last 5 years. But as an independent contractor, you agreed or you're contracted to take an order worth a certain dollar amount. That's what you should get paid, right? Okay, number 2, miles. There needs to be, in my opinion, a cap on how far a customer can order from a restaurant. Yes, I think it can be different based off of your market, urban, rural, suburban. But when you see an order like this one and many more like it consistently and several times a day, it's expecting drivers to ultimately lose money but take orders that are just absolutely ridiculous. Because let's face it, will Uber Eats ever step up to the plate and pay their drivers fairly for long distance orders? I think not. They used to 5 years ago, but those days are just so long gone. Uber Eats, instead of you paying out of pocket, limit the miles a customer can order from a restaurant. It just makes sense, right? Speaking of miles, guys, tax season is here and the deadline is quickly approaching. If you haven't done your taxes yet, go check out the Solo app. The link is in the description of this video. They partnered with Column Tax and make it so easy for you to file your state and federal taxes. Guys, go check them out. Okay, so number 3, shop and pays can make you some great money, and I've seen some pretty amazing orders through their shop and pays with Uber Eats. They are just not user friendly. In my opinion, they are the worst amongst all shop and pays and the most difficult app to use when shopping. And this is the reason why. First, Uber Eats needs to tell you what is in the shop. They do tell you units, but they don't tell you what's in the shop, because once I took a shop and pay, it was only 10 items. Yeah, it was all cases of water. Now, I'm not opposed to doing any kind of water. I'm okay with doing cases of water, but 10 cases of water, I don't even know whether that was going to fit in my car, and I eventually just had to cancel it. But if I would have known it was 10 cases of water, I would have never taken the order to begin with. Next, now here is the biggest thing about shop and pays. Most grocers have aisle numbers, but they don't put your shop in aisle number order. It is just all over the place because they put it by category. Who shops by category? Every shopper shops by aisle. It's maddening. And it's frustrating, and it can be really confusing as a shopper if you don't know the grocery store. It can really slow you down if you don't know your supermarket. Number 4, trip radar. Ever want to know where all of those crap high miles, no tip orders that no driver wants to take goes? That would be trip radar. They all go there where multiple drivers can see one order at the same time, and it becomes first come, first served basis. But does anyone ever take orders on TripRadar? I can probably count on one hand how many times I've taken, maybe one finger. To me, trip radars are a complete waste of time, resources, and money. They just plain annoy the crap out of me. How do you feel about trip radar? Let me know in the comments. Number 5, transparency. To me, this has been the biggest debate over the years. Just like DoorDash, Uber Eats hides tips, and let's face it, all drivers deserve to know exactly how much the order they are taking is worth it, so you can make an informed decision and if it's the right decision for you. But transparency isn't just about hidden tips. Have you ever received an email or communication when base pay got cut? Because I know I didn't. Did you? Uber Eats never tells drivers about updates, base pay cuts, and I'm sure there are tons of stuff we don't know about even right now as you're watching this video. Speaking of base pay, number 6, the final one. Uber Eats needs to improve on their pay and including their base pay. I'm not going to lie. With every good paying order comes some of the worst orders I've seen in the food delivery apps. When you see orders like this and miles like this, it can be very discouraging, especially if you see them order after order after order. We just talked about transparency, which obviously Uber lacks communication with its drivers, especially when base pay gets dropped. And you start to see base pay go to cents. Yes, you heard me. Cents. This last one to me is the most important because it affects every driver and how much every driver gets paid and is using the Uber Eats platform. And it starts with base pay. I know the days are long gone of $5 or more base pays, but when you see base pay in pennies, when is enough enough? And we start actually working for free. To me, this is the biggest thing Uber Eats needs to improve on in order to keep drivers and for them to keep making money on the platform. And guys, those are my top 6 things Uber Eats needs to improve on immediately. In my experience lately, Uber Eats for me gives me the most amount of orders and they come in quickly. But there are some really bad offers. For me, it's decline, decline, decline. Maybe, nope, decline. easily 20 declines before I can get an offer that I'm actually willing to take. But if they can improve on these 6 things that I just mentioned, I think it would be a completely different experience for all drivers, even in markets that Uber Eats kicks butt. Do you think Uber Eats needs to improve on anything, even if I didn't mention it? Let me know in the comments. While you're there, like this video, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and make sure all those alerts are turned on. If you're looking for more food delivery content, I suggest you checking this video out next. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.